morning, everybody, and happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's Trainer Dan back here. I'm going to be with you guys a little bit. I know Robert is no longer with us, so you're going to see myself, and then we have another new guy who actually comes from a technical background for insurance named Nick, who's going to be joining us. So for this week of March 4th, I thought we'd start with a good quote. So being memorable equals getting picked. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to leave effective voicemail. So a little bit about my history. I have been doing sales for a ridiculous long time. And when I first started, hear me out and don't judge. When I first started, I actually got a little shy and I didn't want to really pick up the phone that much. So I would actually call people on off hours. There's no logic in this, guys, right? No logic. But I'd call people on off hours and leave them voicemail. So that way I didn't actually have to talk to them. Well, you know, when you're not getting a paycheck all of a sudden, it gets kind of desperate. So I started figuring out what are some small things that I can do to tweak what I do as far as voicemails go and make them a little better. So all of a sudden I started getting people to call back. When I finally put on what I call my big boy pants there and started dialing people, life got a lot better. So happy Monday, everybody. Now I know we have this new format and I absolutely love it with this Motivation Monday. So what we are going to go through is we're going to go through a tip of the week. Actually, we have quite a few this time. We have our sales shout outs. We have some rock stars going on. We're going to go through some voicemail tips. And unfortunately, we're actually not going to do a quick survey, but I will send you one afterwards just to help us continuously improve and get you the resources you want. As far as tip of the week goes, okay, let's do this. These 5 states on your screen, so Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, and Utah. I talked with Nat Jen on Friday. This should have already been in your coverage builder. If you sell in any of these states, what's happening with their plan enhancer, which is their accident medical expense there, what's happening with that is that they're making it only have that SIP rider. That's that sickness hospitalization rider. So when you sell in those 5 states, one of the things you're going to notice, because before we had about 25 different options for those riders, you're literally only going to have just the dollar amount, and that will be that accident medical expense with that sickness hospitalization rider. Okay, short term. Now in Colorado, Maryland, and Montana, what is happening here is that they have that $5,000 coinsurance. So no longer having to try to figure out how much the coinsurance is. So it's just the deductible plus $5,000 will equal the max out of pocket in those states. Talking with the carrier as well, eventually they are going to roll all of their plans into having that, and they will have new short terms coming out. Maine is now offered for short-term medical. As far as it goes in Colorado, they will not be taking new applications, and that actually should say 3/31/19. That's a mistake, not 3/13. 3/31/19. They are no longer taking new applications for short-term medical in the state of Colorado. Those who have it, they will obviously honor the policy until it turns out. Another one here. So starting 3/6, which is on Wednesday. So 3/6, clients for Nat Gen will not need to create an account to e-sign their policy. So keep in mind with this carrier, Nat Gen, what they have to do is your clients do have to e-sign that policy. What they're doing now is that they can actually just work through it from the email that they get. They're not going to go through and have to create an account. They got a lot of feedback that we were very frustrated because we were very frustrated, right? So they went through for us and they're creating this for us so our clients can easily go through and just sign. Now, guys, if this is your first Motivation Monday, I will tell you, these are power-packed messages that we're going through. This should only take us about 20 minutes from start to finish so you can get back on the phone and sell. Let's take a look at our sales leaders. So one of the really interesting things, I was just digging through the data. This will be for the week of February 25th. Short-term medical. Our leaders in short-term medical, we actually sold just the heck out of pivot. So good job for everybody with that. Nat Jen, obviously following up after that. With our limited med, we are really big fans of UHC's Health Protector Guard. Accidents, obviously the plan enhancer. Critical illness is that Nat Gen one. And dental is that Nat Gen Dental PPO. Now, love the Nat Gen Dental PPO. If you guys haven't taken a look yet, though, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Ameritas. That's also an equally good dental carrier. Critical illness, Nat Gen's phenomenal. I did spend the last week as well with Colorado Bankers Services, CBS. A very great critical illness policy. Slightly more expensive. Biggest difference though is that they do have that any terminal illness payout, which I'm a huge fan of. An accident, I mean, I'm sorry, you can't get better than a plan enhancer. Let's just be blunt on that one, right? Okay, sales leaders. I see your names at the bottom. And obviously, Katya, I have missed saying your name this last quarter. So congratulations on leading both in short-term and in limited med. Richard, congratulations as well as sharing their short-term leaders. Gary and Katya rocking in limited med, and Raphael and Edmund. Good job with your accident sales. So every week, I'm going to let you guys know what we are selling so you can see what other people are doing. So for example, if you're not contracted with UHC, it might be something you want to take a look at. I will give you a phone number at the end you can call and ask if you do have any contracting questions. We do have a whole team here to help you. So let's do this. We are about, 6 minutes in. I'm right on time. And let's jump into our sales tip of the week. So really, guys, what I'm just going to go through is we're going to start with a good quote. We're going to take a look at what the tips of the week are. We're going to go through our sales leaders. And then I want to give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes of just something that maybe I've learned through my experience. If you have not had the pleasure of working with me, one thing that I do is I actually specialize in training agent brokers. I came from Assurance Health. When they went down due to the whole ACA crisis, I actually came over here to AHCP. We purchased part of the supplemental line. So I've been in insurance for a really long time. I've been selling it. And if you can learn 1 or 2 things from this call, you're good to go. So effective voicemails. Why do people actually care? Funny enough, so I was talking with one of my friends who's been selling for about 26 years now. And we were talking about voicemails. He goes, you know what, I'm a big fan of them, but my new agents don't want to leave them. They don't see value in them. I'm like, well, that's kind of crazy. Let's think about this. When you get a call on your phone, do you answer it? No. If you say yes, probably because we think it's a client, but if it's a personal phone, not your Google Voice number or anything like that, do you answer it? No, more than likely not. Funny enough, if you're with almost any phone carrier now, you can get that transcribed version of your voicemail, right? I'll tell you, when I work with clients, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call, text, and email you all on the same one. I'm actually going to double dial you on my first call. I'm going to call you. If you don't answer, hang up, call back. If you still don't answer, that's when I leave my voicemail. Why? We do a double dial in the beginning because people are more likely to pick up. If you do that on every call, that's actually harassment. Don't do that. But in the beginning, because usually, you put your information in online, I want to get a hold of you right away. So I leave effective voicemails every time because first off, it's going to save me time, right? What do I mean by that? Yeah, I mean, we have an 11-step touch program that we're going to do as far as it goes with every lead I'll walk you through. But if I can leave a voicemail on my first call or my double dial there, if you want to call it that, there's a really good chance people are going to listen to it. Now, the thing about it, it's actually going to increase your contact rate. Why? Because from my experience, people are going to look at that voicemail and say, I don't have time right now to call them back, but when you call later in that day, there's a good chance that they're going to pick up. They have an idea of who it is. People don't answer numbers they don't know, right? And the biggest thing is, so if you take a look at a sales funnel, right? So sales funnel starts with a lead, it goes to contacts. Out of that, how many people can you pitch? And in the end, of course, it's a sale. Our job is we want to see how much we can fill in at the top. Our technique, of course, will expand how many sales and pitches we do. But if we can just increase the number of people that are leads that we can actually talk to, we made a bigger funnel, which means it's going to be bigger on the bottom, the whole bigger size. So let's jump into a few quick tips that we can do here. So first one, you guys have to be brief, right? You're going to be shocked. I can actually be really quick on a voicemail, and I'll give you one at the very end here. So be brief. It needs to be 30 seconds or less. Most people delete it after 7 seconds. If you take a look at any of the research when it comes to voicemails, they say you got about 7 seconds to make the best first impression. So you need to be very brief. I love it because actually I just got a voicemail from a sales rep for a training program. And I think her voicemail was like 45 seconds. And I think I made it 10 seconds in at most. I got really, really bored. So 7 seconds, you have to be high energy. You have to have people actually draw attention into that. If you are longer than 30 seconds, you are completely wasting your time. So first one is you have to be brief. Second one is you have to be unique. Funny enough, if you hear, hi, Dan. Oh, my hairs stand on end with that. Be unique. Try not starting with your first name, right? Here's another thing. don't give them your last name. Why? Because they don't care, right? Be a little unique with that. I'm Dan, the health insurance guy. Look at my phone when I give my clients my name, Dan, health insurance. My last name, no one cares. No one cares. I'm health insurance, right? So you've been online looking for health insurance. Start with something other than a first name. Pleasantries, our mind shuts off to. Just right away shuts off to. And we'll go through an example in a minute here. Do something that makes you completely uncomfortable. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then leave something to the imagination. One thing I love about getting voicemails from people is that they give you every piece of information I would ever want and give me zero reason to call you back, other than you saying, call me back, right? Horrible idea. Absolutely horrible idea. You need to leave gaps in your voicemails. You need to give them a why. In sales, with them, what's in it for me? Why should they call you? Another thing, so another hint here is here's some things not to do, right? Don't tell them what to do. Random thing. I actually have my master's in adult learning. So as an adult, if you tell me what to do, I'm actually going to not do that. We hate being told what to do. One of my least favorite things I have people say is, give me a call back. I'm literally telling them what to do and they're gonna be like, nope. Here's a hint trend. If you can take just this one thing away from this training, never say, give me a call back again. Take that out of your vocabulary and say, I can be reached at. Just change it up. I can be reached at. Also, don't sell on the voicemail, because if you get kind of skeezy, people are going to feel like, their skin crawling, right? And don't ever reference failed attempts. I was with one of my best agents, and we were working a little bit, and he's sitting there calling the lady, and he goes, I have missed you 16 times, and I can see it on my screen. I'm like, wow, guess what, buddy? She's never going to call you back because you made her feel like a failure, right? Don't ever say negative things like that. Yeah, you can absolutely break up. Don't get me wrong. My favorite voicemail is actually the breakup one, which is, I've reached out to you a few times here, and it looks like I'm just going to close your file. Close your file. What does that mean? We're done. People say, don't break up with leads. I love breaking up. Doesn't mean I won't put them in a pool of random leads to call on the damn board, but yeah, I'll break up with them, right? Any timing. So here's the thing with it as well. Voicemails are only effective if you leave them at the right time. If you leave it every time, you're that guy or girl, right? You don't want to be that person. Leave them on your first calls, right? I like to leave them on my I already explained the double dial. Dial, smack, then answer, call right back, leaving it, right? I do it on off-peak hours because during my peak calling times, I'm actually calling more than likely than leaving a ton of voicemails. So I do them on off-peak hours. Why? Because, someone just got done with lunch. They're digesting all their heavy carbs. I'm like, I'm just going to swipe through my phone. And they get done with Facebook. They get done with Instagram. And then they're going to be like, I'll take a look at that guy who called. That's when. And stagger the time that you left them. So if you leave them a voicemail every day at 10 o'clock, you're going to be the 10 o'clock voicemail guy. Don't be that person, right? So stagger when you do them. I always try to make sure during my 11 touch system, I'm going to leave them a voicemail once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once at night. Just, who knows when they're actually going to listen. So here's an example for you, right? So not leaving with my name. John, you inquired about affordable health insurance coverage. Looking at rates here for 2017. I know they seem really, really high. So my name is Dan, a health insurance guy here with AHCP. And what I do is I work with dozens of different companies and find my customers the most thorough and affordable health and dental insurance. My services are free and I can be reached at. Pretty quick and easy, right? That's the whole point behind this. I print these out. I have one on my computer. That way, when I'm going to go through and I am leaving voice messages, I don't have to sit there and think. You don't have to be creative every time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is out there. So steal this. I'll just let you know this will also be on YouTube later on. So if you're wondering about that. Okay. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or want to hear it again, or just reach out and say, hey, Dan, I really like your style, that's completely fine. Email me here. So again, my name is Trainer Dan, TD, if you're really lazy there. And my email address is justtraining@ahcpsales.com. Didn't get crazy creative. Training@ahcpsales.com. Now, I brought up a few random carriers today. I know about that. So you can always call agency services there, or you can call them and ask questions about me. They are more than willing to harass me for you if you'd like, at the number that is presented at your screen. Now, we will be jumping on for these every Monday morning coming up here. I'm going to be introducing Nick to you guys in about 2 weeks. So get ready for that one. He's going to actually, I think, give us a few tips and tricks around some quoting systems, which will be kind of fun. I look forward to that. But if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out. If not, guys, we are done. 15 minutes start to finish. Have a great Monday, everyone.